We'll be working on this this stone. It's called Kaleidoscope Agate. It's from a copper mine in west central Utah. I got it from a guy online on eBay, and I was really excited about it. It's really cool. It's an amethyst. It's a bunch of crushed up amethyst crystals that were exposed to sedimentary minerals and copper minerals, basically. So you have little pieces of amethyst mixed in with malachite and azurite and chrysocolla and some other cool things. And I've already cut a slab off of this one. You kind of see where it used to fit. And I'll cut a couple slabs off of, a couple chunks off of this with this little trim saw here. It's a 6-inch trim saw, runs in water. And we'll see how it goes. This particular stone, when you're cutting it, it fractures a lot. So it's more of a sculptural subtractive process as opposed to choosing a shape and cutting it to that shape. You kind of let the stone break away where it's going to, and then see what you end up with. This is a genie. This is one of the best machines that you can work with. Basically, this is the cutting part, cutting and shaping, and this is the polishing. The wheels start at a very coarse grit and work all the way over. It starts at an 80 grit and ends at a 3000. I have these little water taps set up, so it's a kind of a nice, efficient way to cut the stones and keep them wet. You want to keep them wet for a couple of reasons. You want to keep them cool, and you also want to keep all your stuff wet because you don't want to breathe it. That's probably primary. It shouldn't be too loud. Turn my water on. There we go. This removes material pretty quickly. So I'm just roughing the sides off, you know, taking all the rough off and seeing what hangs on. This stone has a tendency to fracture a bit. But I have a basic form right now. So I'm going to move over to the next wheel, which is a 280. Basically, lapidary work is putting a series of scratches into things, progressively finer scratches, until you can't see them anymore.
So what's going through your mind when you the shape of the stone when you do something freeform like this?
Well, I like to have a little bit of a natural crest in there. Sometimes I'll leave it sharp, sometimes I'll cut it. I like that kind of leaf shape. So I think about, you know, kind of the geometry of it and how it has to go. I'm also thinking about, you know, potentially fragile places that I like that might possibly fall off.
Is some shape better than others for wrapping?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to do a stone for wire wrap, they like, wire wrappers like a flat back. Yeah, wire wrappers like to have a flat back on them. So, because it gives you a discrete front and back.
Does the wire, when we eventually wrap the wire, does it actually go on the flat of the back of the stone?
It does. Yeah. So, okay, that's pretty.
That's beautiful.
That's a good start. So now I'm going to move over to this wheel, and this is a 280, and it's a foam wheel, so it has a soft back to it. So this is soft, and what it'll do, see all those kind of angles that are cut by that wheel?
Yeah.
That's going to take those off.
Oh, neat.
It has a much different sound, too. As you go through the wheels, you'll get a different sound off of each wheel. So, so here, there's a little chunk of much softer material right there. And you can see it's starting to undercut just a little bit. So, I'll take that down just a bit on that side, take it down just a bit on that side, and then kind of avoid that if I can for the rest of the duration. I like to make these edges soft. If you leave them rough, what'll happen is his little chunks will break off. So all on every step I take, I make it soft. And then that's a pretty good looking rock so far. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to move over to the polishing side. These are the polishing wheels, and they're 600, 1200, and 3000. I have a 12,000 here, but I don't really use it very much. It's a cerium oxide and water on 11 pad, but I kind of like a softer polish. So this 600 is going to be, it's going to take out all the scratches that the other 3 wheels put in. And you can see there's very little mud coming off of here. Yeah, I started cutting stone because as a wire wrapper, I got really tired of the oval cabochon and the square shape and the shield shape. And the choice of materials wasn't really what I wanted very much either. So I joined my local Gem and Mineral Society and learned how to cut stone, and then I found this machine. I've been cutting for about 5 years now. So I'm going to soften this top ridge just a little bit, and the way I'm going to do that is just really quick, running it up that way, running up that way. I like to have a nice shiny back on it because a lot of times there's a really pretty picture on the back. And with wire wrap, the back is almost always open. So now is when I like to look at it and see if there's anything I've left behind, any scratches. And this looks pretty good. Sometimes there will be scratches left behind, so you have to move back to the previous wheel. But I think that's going to be okay. So we're going to put this shine on it with the 3000 and see, and that'll be our final polish. And I'm not pressing on the wheel really. The wheel just kind of does it itself. If you push too hard on the wheel, you'll peel the diamonds off, and that's always sad. Because then you have to buy a new wheel. And they're kind of spendy. Yeah, most lapidary artists have a tendency to have a smooth top and a uniform shape.
Yeah.
And I let the stones kind of just do what they're going to do. And the wire goes really nicely on top of it. I've been wire wrapping for about 15 years.
Wow.
And I really like just letting the wire kind of fall onto the stone like it grew there.
Nice.
Yeah, and so the wire wrap technique that I use is more of a shrink wrapping than a cinching in. That's what it looks like when they dig it up out of the planet. Looks like that. And then I get it and cut it open, and it looks like that. And then when you put that nice shape and a polish on it, it looks great. And it's all ready for wire.